Hello everybody, welcome to EcoTalks. Today we'll study a personal income tax case for 2019. A tax inspector wants to file his personal income tax for 2019. He lives in Catalonia and has two descendants who are 33 and 24 years old. His gross salary amounts to 60,000 euros. The amount related to the social security contributions paid by him is 12,400 euros. In addition, he is member of the Catalonia Association of Economists and pays 500 euros annually. Besides the housing where he lives in Barcelona, he owns a cottage in Galicia which has been rented out for the whole 2019. The purchase value of the latter property is 600,000 euros and its cadastral value is 220,000 euros, 20% land and 80% construction. The income derived from the property is 30,000 euros, and this is the list of expenses for 2019. Insurance 250 euros, maintenance 5,000 euros, mortgage interest 2,000 euros, EV 1,000 euros. He also has a broker account with a portfolio that includes savings and investments in listed companies. He received dividends for 3,000 euros and interests for 500 euros for 2019. The management fees paid are 200 euros. He sold some shares of his portfolio in 2019. Their purchase value was 1,700 euros and the costs inherent to the purchase were 200 euros. Their sale value was 10,000 euros, 10,000 euros and the costs inherent to the sale were 400 euros. His contributions made to a retirement plan amount to 8,000 euros. The withholdings are 9,750 euros for 2019. Let's see the solution. Let's get started with the labor income. According to the case, the taxpayer earned 60,000 euros during 2019. The amount related to the social security paid by the employee was 12,400 euros, which is fully deductible for personal income tax purposes. Keep in mind that the contributions made by the employee are not deductible whatsoever. Payments made to associations are deductible as long as the association is required to work, like what happens with lawyers and doctors in Spain. The association is not mandatory for economists to carry out their activities, so the payments made are not deductible. Whoever that declares labor income can deduct 2,000 euros as other deductible expenses. After deducting all the possible expenses, the labor income is 45,600 euros. The taxpayer also owns a cottage in Galicia, which has been rented out for the whole 2019. The income was 30,000 euros and the expenses were the following ones. Insurance, 250 euros, maintenance, 5,000 euros, mortgage interest, 2,000 euros, EV, 1,000 euros, and the depreciation is 14,400 euros. The depreciation is equal to the 3% of the greater of the purchase or cadastral value, excluding the land value. Note that the costs related to the maintenance and mortgage interest deducted cannot exceed the rental income. If the costs were higher than the rental income, the maximum deduction regarding the maintenance and mortgage interest could be up to 30,000 in this case. The rest of the costs not applied could be deductible in the coming 4 years, taking into account the same limit. Once the expenses have been deducted, a reduction of 60% can be applied when a housing is rented for dwelling purposes. The net rental income after this reduction is 2,940 euros. Regarding the liquid capital income, the taxpayer received 3,000 euros in dividends and 500 euros in interests. The management fees are deductible. Then the net liquid capital after deducting the management fees is 3,300 euros. The sale of shares supposes a capital gain, which is the difference between the sale value and the purchase value. The cost associated to the sale operation decreases the sale value, whereas the cost associated to the purchase operation increases the purchase value. The resulting capital gain is 7,700 euros. So far, the general gross tax basis that includes the labor income and the rental income amounts to 48,540, and the savings gross tax basis that includes the liquid capital income and the capital gain amounts to 11,000 euros. The personal income tax law contemplates a reduction derived from the contribution to retirement plans. However, this reduction is limited to the lesser of 8,000 euros or the 30% of labor and economic activities income. The contribution not reduced due to the limit can be reduced in the coming 5 years applying the same limit. In our case, we can deduct the whole contribution, and the result is a general net tax basis of 40,540 euros. After updating the self-assessment diagram, the general net tax basis is 40,540 euros because of the reduction mentioned in the previous slide, and the saving gross tax basis is still 11,000 euros since no reductions have been applied. The following step is to obtain the general gross tax quote and the savings gross tax quote by applying the corresponding tax rate. Herewith tax rates are ones that we apply to the income included in the general net tax basis for taxpayers from Catalonia. Note that the personal income tax is shared by the state and the different autonomous regions, so the tax rate might differ depending on the residency of the taxpayer. Once we apply the tax rate to the general net tax basis, we have to deduct the minimum personal and family allowances. These tax allowances are aimed to ensure the taxpayer's livelihood. Everyone can apply the minimum personal allowance, which represents a deduction by 5,550 euros. Nonetheless, the family allowances can only be applied for those who meet certain requirements. The taxpayer has 2 descendants, however, only one meets the requirements, then the minimum family allowance for one descendant is 2,400 euros. The minimum family allowance is divided by 2 because 2 individuals can apply it, the father and the mother. By applying the tax rates and deduction, the minimum personal and family allowances, the general gross tax is 9,559.83 euros. Now we have to use the applicable tax rates to the savings net tax basis to obtain the savings gross tax quote. The savings gross tax quote is 2,190 euros. The general gross tax quote is 9,559.83 euros and the savings gross tax quote is 2,190 euros. To obtain the net tax quote, we have to apply deductions to the gross tax quote, which is the addition of the general gross tax quote and the savings gross tax quote. Nevertheless, in this case, there are no deductions, whereby the net tax quote is equal to the gross tax quote, that is to say, 11,749.83 euros. Finally, the result of the self-assessment will be obtained through the deduction of the withholdings from the net tax quote. Withholdings are some sort of payments in advance made on behalf of the taxpayers regarding the personal income tax. If the withholdings are higher than the net tax quote, this means that the taxpayer paid too much taxes during 2019, and now the Spain's tax agency has to refund the difference. If the net tax quote is higher than the withholdings, this means that the taxpayers did not pay enough taxes during 2019, and now they have to pay the rest. In this case, the taxpayer did not pay enough taxes, and now he has to pay the rest, which is 1,999.83 euros. This is the result of his personal income tax self-assessment. And that's all for today. Thank you for your attention, and I hope you enjoyed this video.